Hi guys, I had a great question come in over the weekend around file hierarchy and linking images within your web page. So I thought it would be a great opportunity to make a super quick video. I can't promise it'll be super quick, to make a short little video to show you file hierarchy, and hopefully it'll make a lot more sense if you can see it rather than me just type it out and explain it. So the first things first, when I talk about file hierarchy, that's where your files are in the structure of your web page. So I know we've mentioned root already, so I'm in the root folder of this example, and here's my index.html page that I've made. And if we look at that page, it's just a test page with a picture on it, and here's our code. Okay. The first thing, and it may help you to understand that when we're talking about linking images, files, other pages within a web page, it doesn't work like Microsoft Word. And this is one of the things that people have the biggest trouble getting over. It is not embedded in the page. The page doesn't hold the pictures and the link and the other folders and the fonts. All you're really doing is telling the browser what to show the user. This is because we're coding, right? We're creating code that talks to the interface, the browser, to say what to show the user. So in this case, we're saying, hey browser, this is an HTML document. Hey browser, this is the head. Hey browser, the character set is UTF-8. Hey browser, the title is test page. Make sure you show that to the user. Hey browser, show this picture. And when we tell it to show the picture, we have to tell it where to find the picture. Now this is a relative link. I'm going to talk about the difference in a second. So we're saying, hey browser, go get flower.jpg and show it to the user, and show it at this width, and show it at this height, and give an alt tag of this. Right, so every single thing we're saying, we're basically talking to the browser and saying, "Hey, browser, show the user." So when we look at the page, we see all those things that we've told the browser to show. Now, this relative link works, right? We have flower.jpg, and then if we look, it works because they don't have to be side by side; they have to be in the same folder. But because index.html here and flower.jpg is here, it works, right? That is a relative link relative to where the page is, and the page being index.html because that's the one we're looking at. The image is here, or the linking page is here. That is relative. It is relative to that page. If we are talking about an absolute page, and I know that there's a temptation, and I've seen a few of you talking about it already, to use an absolute URL that you find on the internet. So to go online, find a picture that's already posted on the internet, you don't have to worry. It gives you the link right there, and then you just paste it. So instead of having flower.jpg, you have HTTP, such and such a website, such and such an image. And that is an absolute URL. Typically, you would use these on your own website. You would say, hey, go to my website and grab this image. And the benefit to that is that you know exactly where it is. It doesn't matter what page is calling it. It's always going to call the same image. The bad part is if it ever moves, then, or your pages move, or that picture on the internet leaves, you no longer have it. The other thing is that when we're working with relative URLs, they are certainly what you tend to want to use most of the time. Once you start to get to more complex, you may find you use a lot more absolute. But I really, really do want to encourage you to have a solid handle on the way that these relative links work, because it will help you. It's tempting to just go find it and post it there because you don't have to worry about where it's saved on your computer. But I really, really encourage you to have a good, solid understanding, because it will help you moving forward, especially when we get to the point that we're working on the servers. Okay, so this works fine. It's in the same one. The question is, what happens if we start to organize our website, make it nice and clean, and we decide that we're going to put all of our pics in a pics folder. Now, when we look at our web page, it can't find it because you said, hey, browser, go find flower.jpg. And it says, okay, starting from index.html, I look for it and it's not there. Sorry, can't find it. It doesn't look any further. So what you have to say is you have to tell it, okay, starting from index.html, because that's the page we're in, we're going to go to pics, then flower.jpg. And I'm just going to save this. Okay, and now when we pull up our web page, it shows the flower again. It says, okay, so go into Pix, flower, there it is, found it, got it. Okay, so now we can do this with multiple layers. So if we create a new folder called flowers, and we put flower.jpg in there, again, it's gone, because when the browser goes to find it, it looks in Pix, it's not there. So then we need to say flowers, and we'll just save that. Oh, what do we do here? Oh, sorry, I put it in the wrong spot. Sorry, we start in the Pix folder, then we go to the flowers folder, then we go flower.jpg. Sorry, and we can see it. If we go here, we can actually see this, right? There's our root, our example folder, then we have Pix, then we have flowers, and there's the flower. So if you're ever in doubt on the order, you can always just look up here, and it'll actually tell you directly what it is, right? Pix, flowers. Okay, we're going to save that. And now it works. So the fantastic thing about this is this works up and down, right? So sometimes what might happen is you might have a page. So our index page, we want to put into the pages folder. Okay, so now it's here. And when we now go, I'm just going to open this in our browser. So now when we look, it can't find it because it's saying, you know, from the pages, remember it's absolute. So we want to go Pix flowers and then flower.jpg. It can't do that because it needs to go up first. It can't just go down. But that's okay because we can actually tell it to go up. And what I mean by up is up in the root, right? It's in this pages folder. We want it to go to examples, then to Pix, then to flowers, then to flower.jpg. I hope I'm not losing anybody here. Okay. And we do that by saying go up. And this is our symbol for go up. And I'm just going to save this. And now when we refresh it, we can see it. So what we've said is, I'm just going to repeat that so I'm not losing anybody. From index, go up one, right? And we've seen this is easy, right? We have up, go up, right? Go up, and then go to Pix, and then go to flowers, and then open flowers.jpg. Okay, I hope everyone got that. Okay, so now keeping in mind that this also works with links. That's how the images work, but it's also how the links work. So you see I have this other page. Hold on, I have like 3 other pages. I have this other page, page.html. And it is in the root folder. And if I want to link to index.html, it actually won't work. And the reason that it won't work is because it is in the pages folder. Pages. So now it'll say pages.index.html is where it is because it's relative to this page. Before we were relative to index. Now, because we're working in page, we're relative to page. So I'm just going to save this. And then we're going to go back to our example and I'm going to open this page. Okay, it kind of looks exactly the same, funny enough. It's just a copy with a link. And then we go link. And you can see down here, if you look kind of down in this area when I mouse over it, it's actually telling us where it is. It's in the root folder, which is example, and then pages, and then index. So when we click on it, it actually will take us. So now we can see we're actually on the index page. And we go back. Okay, and then we're on the page. So Again, you can play around with the ups and the downs and the going back and forth. I do encourage you to really, really understand how those links get put together. Once we move on to a server, it's actually exactly the same. You start with a root, which is your public HTML, and then you move along in each of the folders and you can go up and down. Hopefully that helped. If you do have any other questions, don't hesitate to post them, to ask them, to email them, and I'm happy to answer back.